Hello, I'm Michael Pierce, and this is The Human Condition. Today we're talking about AI analysis of diets and anti-nutrients. I'm not the greatest fan of AI. However, I have found a tool that can sometimes work okay if you're a little diligent and careful. And that is the idea that people call me up and talk to me, and doctors email me, and at seminars I speak with people, and they all have questions about how they did their labs, they did their EEGs, they got a bunch of supplements and they tried them, and they got some things that got better and some things didn't. And they don't know why. They don't realize what didn't work. And as I ask a bunch of questions about what they've done, what is revealed usually is the idea that they may not have calculated their macros. They may not have actually figured out how much percentage and how many grams and how many calories of protein, fat, and carbohydrates they eat. They haven't weighed their food, which is tedious, and they haven't measured their food, and they haven't done all that calculating to do what's going on. And neither has their doctor, and neither has their nutritionist, and neither has their family members or themselves or their chefs or anybody. So what we want to do is judiciously know that AI can make errors. It really can, and it does. So you want to be careful to double check the math, and I'll tell you how today. So we're really going to ask AI two different questions about the diet. One of them is essentially, could you calculate my macros for me from this input? And this input might be your 7-day diet diary that you type out, or it might be a 2-day diet diary, or even a 1-day diet diary, where you write down everything you eat and drink and put in your mouth and eat as a snack and drink. And all of that would go in. And so the prompt would look like you'd first have to cut and paste your diet diary and drop it in there. Now your diet diary should be as close as possible to describing what you've eaten. So it should be the amount, maybe size or weight or servings, if you can guess. Average amount of, if you ate like a chicken breast, fried or grilled, if it was coated in bread, if it was breaded, you'd want to talk about, roughly how many cups of raw fruit you ate, or portions of cups, like half a cup or a quarter of a cup of blueberries, for example. Or if you ate a small baked potato with butter, if you ate a serving that looked like about half a cup of broccoli cooked in butter or not in butter. So you want to describe your food as much as possible that you've been eating, and ideally 7 days would be ideal. So your prompt would be to the AI, calculate my macros, protein, fat, and carbohydrates for this data below. Include the grams, the percentage, and the calories per day, and at the end, the total, so I can know what those totals are. And also calculate for my age, gender, height, weight, body fat percentage. Ideally, you'll have your body fat percentage, which you can get from calipers, or you can get from an electrical device that will measure your body fat percentage by electrical resistance. And then calculate what my activity level reveals my calories should be as a total. Now, some people's calories should be like 2,000, some should be 2,500. Others will be below that. Many of you will have insufficient calories because you're trying to lose weight. And sometimes that can work and sometimes it can't work, depending on a number of factors. So you kind of have to know what your ideal calorie target should be for your body activity level and your body size and weight. So put that all in there, and if you enter all that in, you should get an answer that's pretty comprehensive, and it may take a while for the prompt to deliver. And then you can ask it for a tabular format, you can ask it for graphs, you can ask it for all kinds of different things. But generally, what you really want at the end is, what is the calories per day I should be eating for my activity level? What is the percentage in percent of protein, fat, and calories? What is the grams of each? And what is the calories of each? And for your mathematics, you might want to know that there's 4 calories per gram in protein, and 4 calories per gram in carbohydrates, and 9 calories per gram in fat, and 7 calories per gram in alcohol. So if you're trying to do this, you might find that, alcohol is not listed as carbs technically, but alcohol itself is 7 calories per gram. So similar to something between carbohydrate and fat, 4 and 9 is 7. So that's a nice comparison. The final answer should be interesting to you and help you guide what you want. And then you can also ask it to make you a potential keto diet. You could ask it to give you a potential carnivore diet. You could ask it to give you a low carb diet, knowing that low carb usually is somewhere around 50% of your calories per day from fat, somewhere around 26% of your calories from carbohydrates. So that's a general concept of what nudging yourself toward low carb might look like. Now, obviously, I'm not your doctor, so you've got to check with your own doctor about this, but the general idea is you can do most of this yourself, and in fact, you can do all of it yourself if you want. It's up to you to decide your risk factor. The next thing that you can do is AI prompts for anti-nutrients. There are a number of people that are doing really well with their macros, and they don't really need what I just said. They've done that already, and they've measured, they've gotten a scale, a baker's scale, and they've measured, all the grams of food they're eating. They've done all the calculations. They've tried all this stuff. They've gone to ruled.me, ruled.me, and done a keto calculator to find out how many grams of each they should have a day in percentage, and their total calories for weight loss or weight gain or weight maintenance. And they've done all that work. And yet, they might not still be getting better. Those people may need to ask AI for a calculation of all the anti-nutrients in their food. So once again, the prompt looks like this. You type into the AI window, calculate for me, given this diet below, all of the anti-nutrients and their categories and their relative amounts and what nutrients they might rob me of for this 7-day period. And then you drop in your 7-day menu of what you ate as accurately as possible. And you'll be amazed at what comes out. Now, please bear in mind that the AI is biased because the literature is biased. Our literature has been corrupted, as John Ioannidis talked about, along as many others who have talked about the idea that our scientific journals have been corrupted. So that means that unfortunately there's going to be a bias where built into the response is going to be this kind of funny propaganda that says, well, there isn't really any problem with these anti-nutrients, and they don't really cause any symptoms, and they don't really meaningfully make any big difference. And for healthy people, they don't make a difference. And that may be for one meal, but it may not be additive. So you may have to take the advice with a grain of salt, because it may warn you not to do carnivore. It may warn you not to do keto. It may warn you that it's dangerous. It may warn you that the anti-nutrients like lectins and other anti-nutrients like oxalates are really not significant, that they're all destroyed in heating, and that they're all destroyed in soaking and boiling. And that's simply not true. They're not completely destroyed. And there are so many different anti-nutrients that when one is destroyed, there are others that aren't. And they affect you by affecting your minerals, your B vitamins, your fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K. When I said B vitamins, I meant B complex. B1, B2, B3, B5, B6, B9, B12. There's just so many of them, B7. And you also want to think about the fact that these anti-nutrients that are in mostly plant foods and some dairy can not only bind to those vitamins and minerals, but they can be enzyme inhibitors, tryptase inhibitors. They can inhibit your ability to digest proteins and your ability to digest fats and your ability to secrete stomach acid. There's all kinds of things that they can do. They stimulate mucus production. They stimulate acid production. They stimulate leaky gut syndrome and detaching of the tight junction of the cells in the small intestine. So there's a bunch of things that can happen to the liver, the gallbladder, the stomach, even the blood, because some of those anti-nutrients actually do leak into the bloodstream. Not very much. And in fact, if a lot of them did, there would be coagulation and diffuse coagulation and death. So that's not really what happens in most cases. But there is a small amount, a small percentage of the anti-nutrients that leak into the person's body. And they do bind to organs, and they cause things like infertility. They cause things like arthritis. They cause things like organ dysfunction in the lungs, in the heart, in the large intestine, in the testes and ovaries. These are well established. They've been done in animal studies and human studies, which have the same basic cellular markers on the surface that are bound by these anti-nutrients, especially the lectin family. And so they can do this. And they found, they were able to create arthritis in rabbits simply by feeding them different lectins in foods. And remember that the anti-nutrients are the highest in grains, beans, nuts, and seeds. They're also high in some dairy products, especially the ones with a lot of protein like cheese, depending on how you digest it. I'm not saying all dairy is bad or that all of any food is bad. Some people have trouble with the brassica family, which is the broccoli, the broccolini, the cauliflower, the Brussels sprouts. Those are the ones that have the sulforaphanes, which are purported and proven to be anti-cancerous. But they're also anti-nutrients, and there are a number of compounds in there, and those compounds that are beneficial, that are also detrimental to us in some cases. Some people just can't do very well, and different racial groups have different digestive capacities for different anti-nutrients. So the tolerance for things like alcohol, the things like anti-nutrients, all of these factors are varied by different subgroups of humans. Please be aware also that it matters where you live, how much sun you get exposed to, how much infrared light you get exposed to, how much blue light you get exposed to in your environment indoors. And all these factors are important. It matters how much stress you get exposed to. It matters if you are a person that skips meals a lot and goes a long time between meals. So it's very important to know that AI will have some biases. It may give you some advice that's not what I want, but it's a quick and dirty tool that can help you. Whereas in the old days, you had to just brute force calculate this on a piece of paper, and you had to have a scale, and you had to look up these things online. And before online, you had to look them up in a book. So you had to find out, how much protein is in an apple, and how much apple did you eat, and do that calculation of, the calories per gram and all that. So I do that for people all the time, and I'm very quick at it, but you may want to use AI for this type of purpose. So if you've done it, let us know in the comments. Tell us how that goes, and go to our website, humanconditionlab.com, and look at all the resources there, as well as all the resources that are in the comments below in every one of our videos. Get ready for a membership program that's coming. If you want to know where that is, just keep an eye on our website, because that's where we'll announce it, and along with our YouTube channel. In the comments below, when we're ready, we'll be announcing that membership offer. But I'm very excited to talk with you and have events with you guys and hear more of your questions. Keep those comments below. We read all of them, but we don't necessarily have time to respond to all of them, so I apologize for that. But thank you.